Bexley, talk to us. What's going on?
Okay, I'll just ahead of time because I think this is a Dorian thing. After chatting to Drew, I'll just ping Dorian the link and
Direct to the source.
Yeah. Let me minimize this screen a bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk through it, but I thought it might have been a bug. That's why I thought we should get you. There's like a weird thing going on with styles.
Cool.
yes, I'll just share my screen and run through it.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Yep, we can see it.
All right. So what's happening is the navigation panel on the side here, when it's got the breakpoint to shrink it when you get to tablet size. Eventually, is it kicking? Is it not kicking?
Yeah, it looks like it never, because it should be hiding, right? Is that what the
Yeah, so
It actually was before. That's not the issue. So
it was
never
yesterday.
hides.
I think it's 768 or something, right?
yeah, 768. Do you maybe have to have the devices like there's a little icon for devices next to the word elements? Yeah, do you have to be selected on that for it to show it correctly?
It hasn't been up until now.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird. I saw it working before. It was what I was doing. It was working by adding a weird style. So I don't know if maybe somehow that got removed and it's not working now.
It was working yesterday. Okay, this is weird.
Yeah, like I'm inspecting that on my side here, and I see the media query styles.
Yeah.
But I don't see one, like the smallest size I see is 1440. But all it's doing is just setting the height to 100. Like there's no display none.
What we were looking at was there was a media query in the style sheet that was setting a height of 90 pixels to something, but it wasn't in the studio. Like it wasn't actually anywhere you could edit or see, but you could see it on the front end. And I couldn't really figure out like where more detailed than that, where it was coming from. But I don't know, because we can't really get to that point, I don't think.
Maybe I was playing around with something else yesterday. I might have cleared it. So when I put in this custom style, it seems to have got rid of the tablet style. Custom breakpoint, sorry. It seems to have cleared out the tablet one. So that may have
I've seen that happen here and there as a bug where it clears out the all. Like it's very sporadic and I can never repeat it, but I have that is a chance that it just somehow cleared that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's probably what's happened now. Is now I don't have that tablet on at all.
But I wonder if that'll fix
thing.
it. If you put those back in, it might fix it for you. Oh, you mean the whole tablet media query went away? That I actually haven't seen. I thought just the styles in it, but yeah, you're right. I don't see that icon. That's weird.
Yeah, so when I put I noticed that yesterday, but I thought it was still sort of there in the background. But no, as soon as I put this 1281 in, which I was playing with for something else, the tablet one just disappeared completely. Like there's no icon.
I wonder if you accidentally click the X on it at some point. Because see how you can actually delete them. There's X's on all of them.
Right, maybe.
I don't know.
Dorian, is there a way to bring that back, or do you know what the exact defaults are?
Yeah, like I can bring it back for him. I just have to do it directly in the table. So yeah, I can definitely restore it. I have the project ID now, so I can definitely do that.
Would you recommend that, or should he just recreate a new one?
It doesn't matter. Internally, it's As long as it's the same pixels, it's all the same. It's just not going to show up with the default icon, but yeah, it's really just a preference.
So if I put display none on this.
It might already be in there. So it's like
Probably already in
at
there.
the bottom. It's probably somewhere up in there. Yeah, it's at
Oh,
the top.
this one.
It's at the top. Yeah, it works now.
Right. But my burger menu is not showing.
Yeah, it's like well, I don't know if it'll delete that breakpoint. It'll delete that breakpoint for like every element, I think, right, Dorian? So
Mhm.
like the whatever shows the hamburger menu is also gone now, and you have to recreate it.
Yeah, like if they were all using the tablet, if you
Yeah.
delete the main media query, then that parent's gone, so there's no reference to it.
Oh, right.
So I don't know. I don't know if you even know all the
those in
styles.
the. Do we show those in the main list? Like maybe he can just go and activate it. Let me check.
I don't know.
Like in the CSS in the styles list. Probably not, right? Primary utilities.
I forget if it does or
So
not.
this would just be
No,
clearing out
it's not.
display none, right? Put it on.
I don't know what any of these individual styles would be actually.
But that wouldn't be it because you're on the system message. So you're after the little hamburger, right?
Oh, right.
Now I'm making me hungry.
Where
It's
is
probably
it?
that div menu icon, one down from
Oh,
me. Or I
right.
bet
Yeah,
that's it. I'm not totally sure though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
that's
call I
burger.
called the style burger menu.
Yeah. There you go. This
So
would
same
need,
as CA.
let's scroll, see if there's a display. No.
Maybe
Still
it's
need
it
to
itself. Or maybe it's actually the outer div. Look, there's one div that holds that whole thing. So maybe, oh no, that's probably not it. I don't know.
So
I'm
how do
not
you
familiar with the SaaS
undo-
Starter template.
So I want this, if I do flex, but I want to like relative, because I want it to show over the top. I still got to play with the formatting a bit, but let's see.
I think if that wasn't display none in the beginning, though, it's probably not the right element. Like something else should start with display none, and then at 768 you should switch that to something else.
Or maybe
So-
it's the
Oh, right.
position.
It might be the it could be the position. Yeah, you're right.
Like it's always visible, but it's just moving.
It's positioned off screen, and then at the breakpoint it positions on screen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I have.
Okay.
So down here
Oh
I've got
no, it has a style class. So that one must happen through an action where it's removing, it has a display none style class on it. So that one you wouldn't even do it through here.
this is just hide on
hide on
desktop.
desktop. You have to go into
Yeah.
hide in desktop and change the media query. You know what I mean? That class probably just is
Yeah.
display none, and then at
Because the
768.
media query disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you can. I guess you have to go block or maybe clear. I think clear would be better if you can, but I don't know if that'll work.
I might have ruined it with
Might just have
the
to do block too instead of clear.
Here it is.
Yeah. You have to click that 3 dot again for delete. It's just like it doesn't show up the first time sometimes.
Yeah.
Clear works too, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And top left. So this is, yeah. This one. 768.
Yeah, I think change that to just to block. I think clear didn't work. I think yeah, just or flex or whatever you wanted to. I don't know if it matters because that's a class, so it's used in multiple places. I don't know where else it's used.
Yeah, I would probably just do block on that,
Yeah,
which is the first icon. That one.
Okay.
and maybe refresh the page if it doesn't work, just in case, just to make sure we have all the styles coming to the page.
So it does change it to block, but because it's inside that left nav and we're hiding it, so you need to either move it out or put it somewhere else or make it fixed.
Okay.
But it is working because now when I inspect it, it does change the style to block. It's just because that left nav gets hidden, it's hidden.
Yeah, because it should be relative. I think no, absolute is what I wanted for the position.
I think you might end up having to play with it a bit, like all these things. But the original problem that we were talking about in Discord is fixed.
Yeah, somehow.
Like I didn't see that coming up in the styles. So like technically, you know, you would have to figure out how everything works and recreate it however you want, depending on like your preference, and you could get it done, and then you won't run into that 90 pixel height problem, which was the whole original issue anyway.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
so with that
So
one,
it must have been stuck in, but yeah, that was weird because it was
Yeah.
in that it was related to that media query, I think.
Yeah,
But at any time I overrode anything in the media query, it's just stuck around for some reason. It had a height of 90 pixels.
Yeah, like
But
it wasn't like anywhere it should have been. You couldn't actually edit it anywhere. That's why I thought it's a bug, maybe, Dorian.
And it only really showed up after I played with the action as well, unfortunately. So wondering if maybe I can just get rid of that hide on desktop. We'll put it over the top and then I can play with the action quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still being hid.
well, it's because you need to move it out of that left column.
Oh, because the whole left column gets hidden.
You're hiding the whole column. That's the problem. Like it's all working. It's just it's in the wrong place.
With an absolute value, shouldn't it show anyway? It was before.
Not if it's inside. I bet you before it wasn't hiding the whole left column in the same way, or it was moving it off screen and there was an overflow. I bet you it was just like something slightly different.
I think it was just sliding it off.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually hiding it.
Oh, right. So if I get rid of display none and just shrink the menu to 0 pixels.
You can do a transform and then either shrink it with like the value would be scale, or you can move it with like translate X. Like you might have to look that up, but there's ways to do it in CSS that's like you can achieve whatever you want, and the transform is the property name.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll have a little play with this in the background and I'll see if I can recreate it. If that other thing shows up again while I'm still on the call, I'll let you guys know.
Definitely. Yeah. And then if you need help with the actual styles too, we can chat in Discord whenever you can ask. We could probably still help, but you know, you might want to just play and see how you want to do it.
Cool. Looks like I accidentally cleared it by myself.
Yeah. And you can always create like a new project from the SaaS Starter. Just
look at what I
to
have
reference like what the original setup was. And then you come back and replicate it back to how it was.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Bexley. Good luck on getting that resorted, and just chat us if you need to keep going on it.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, we'll call Alex Karpinski. And let me see, Alex. So you're trying to get data passed from one page to another and then displaying in a grid row? You are muted, just FYI.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Correct. It's exactly right. So both Dorian and Drew have kind of helped me at different parts of this, and so I know everything works up to a certain point. And then I'll show you what I'm trying to do, and then kind of go from there. But I've got this like multi-page type thing. Let me move my windows around. Basically, this is like an incident report, so you can add different team members and then add a truck. And then these are, I'll show off the background there, but to go from here, so from this stage to the next, I've got a grid list here and want to display the trucks that are kind of on scene. And then from there, I want to be able to open up that specific truck and add individual team members that were there and assign different people to the trucks. So I'll show you how this is all set up. So I'm pretty sure, Drew, if you remember last week, I was chatting you about this. Basically, I've tried a bunch of different ways to get this filtering or showing up and then filtering it in. And then I've just kind of nuked it all to start with a clean slate. Let me move these. So this is the grid list here. Let's see, I have this set to this row page, which is also being referenced here and here on the first page. And I think we were looking as to whether or not it was being passed through to the second page.
Yeah, I could probably explain that too, to like exactly what's going on there to Dorian, because I think basically like I was a little stumped, but we could probably figure it out right now.
Sure.
But it's like when you and Dorian were working, you were saving the grid list into the database directly. But Dorian, we changed that and did like a relational table. So now we have a relational table. So it should be good to like pull it in the next step, but we're having trouble passing the record context to the next step. It's definitely passing the correct ID, which is new record ID, but I don't think the rest of the values are passing. So you might have to like pull them manually or figure out why they're not coming through.
Yeah, you want to show me the action on the continue? I'm assuming the continue is what's opening that second page.
Exactly, yeah. So
yeah,
there's a
look
lot.
at that.
Yeah, this will take a sec to load up here. So there's two nested actions here.
It might just be the wait, right? Like it's not waiting to return the ID. Is that creating a new, or is that just an update at that point?
I think it creates a new. You can click into that.
Yeah, open that. I see.
So this is everything
broken.
going on.
Okay, so we already have the ID. So the first one creates the ID, and then all the updates just use the ID.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wasn't sure about is on this second, this is running a flow on this save vehicles is actually on this row.
It's running a flow that it runs on each row. Like, so each vehicle you select, it's just going to save individually. Each row is going to save itself into the database.
Gotcha.
And I think we confirmed that was working when we were doing it last week.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. So can we try it with that added weight just to see? So I'm wondering if like that open page was not waiting at all.
Yeah.
Now everything that's here has been scrubbed out, so probably won't load anything. Let's have a look.
We can check in the variables and see if it came through too or something. I think if I remember correctly, the ID was coming through and not the rest of the record. So it might not be the weight, but we'll see.
And then before you hit continue, can we open the developer tools? And let's go to sources at the top there. And then on the left side, scroll all the way to the bottom and open the one that says documents -scus. Yeah, that one, expand that. And then expand the one that says files. Yeah. And then click on the one that says objects. And then scroll to line like 2100.
45, I think.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see it here. Where is it? Keep
Maybe
going
like
down.
245 even. I don't really.
Keep going down a little bit.
Just
Right
the
here, actually, you
visual
have a
of
break point.
Drew and Dorian leaning.
Yeah.
Look,
It's
it's
coming to the small
on,
screen.
on the right side, this says breakpoints, and you see that checkbox. Just check that box to enable it.
This guy here.
Yeah. And then let's go into the studio. And we need to grab an ID. Close this panel on the right side. Go back in there. I just meant like the first layer to go back to the second one. But
Sorry,
yeah,
Theo.
go into that flow.
Windows here.
Yeah, it's all good. And then click on the second one that says open page. And let me look at this before we do that. So we're not passing any fields.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's
Yeah.
an issue. See how that drop down's blank?
Yeah.
Yeah, do all
Get all-
fields. I think
yeah.
that's probably all it is.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, the other thing too, this is the new record ID. Earlier on this page, there's like 2 or 3 other variables being set.
To the same name or different names?
No, I don't think anything overrides it. We're setting new record ID on the grid row page, but it's on current page, so it doesn't
Gotcha.
conflict. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I try
Go
that?
back in there and click on the open page action again, and then click the 3 dots, and let's grab the action ID. Let's copy that, and then yeah, click in there once, and it should select it all. And then copy that, and let's go to our second tab. You see where it has that highlighted orange little bookmark style thing? Right click on the left side, the bigger one. Right click on that and then go to edit breakpoint. And then replace that value there in the string, yeah, with the new one. And then press enter once you paste that. And then go ahead and click continue. Your button. Yeah. And then in the right side, scroll a little bit to the right, or if you can drag the left side so we can see more of the developer tools. No. We actually want to see the other side. You can just scroll in there a little bit. No. The middle is what we want to see. And then scroll in there just to
Like
the
horizontal
right,
scroll.
like horizontal, yeah. And you're gonna see where it says INP args a little bit to the left, went a little too far. INP args right there. If you just put your mouse over that. Yeah. And then expand where it says page data. And then expand that. So this should be all the fields. And then just scroll through there. I think that's probably all it was. It
Looks like it's working now.
because it is pushing everything now.
Okay.
You can just hit that play pause button in the middle there to continue. And let's see.
So now you just need to have that grid right there is not reading it yet, but you need to bind that grid and it should work. Yeah.
So while we're here, can I just show you, like, this is how I had it set, which should be correct, I think. Or can we
Trying to remember, but we could just set it. You could just go on it and try to set it up right now. We'll be able to figure out if it works.
Yeah, because that should be reading from the new relation data collection,
Which was
filtered by the
Yeah.
ID on the current page.
That's the collection. The one incident report X vehicles, I think.
exactly.
And then you probably want all the fields, and then the filter will be ID. And so end is
It'll be where incident report ID actually.
oh,
equals
it's a
ID.
different field, or
Yeah, because this like the incident report is the thing we're sending in, and then that this is the relational table to pull in the vehicles.
is
But for
this
this, it's the variable
just ID,
ID.
right?
Yeah.
And that's it, right?
Yeah, and like this will show you the correct number of them, and then I think there'll be one more step to actually pull the info, but you'll be able to tell if this worked.
And you can disable that breakpoint by unchecking that checkbox on the right, or right click. Yeah, either way. No, right? Because well, there was only the one, right? You only selected one, so that could be correct.
Like that is the one over there. I think that's a separate.
Oh no, this is just a
That's something
placeholder.
else.
It's not set to anything. So it should, there's a, see, I've got it.
Oh, I
Like,
see. Can we confirm that those entities exist in the data collection?
Yeah, it's a good call.
So maybe it's an issue with the save. It's at the top there. Yeah, that one.
Sorry, I've been staring at this thing for
We
so long.
probably need to go get the ID though of the incident, right? Of that last one we created.
Oh, yeah. Instead of typing, oh no, I think we filtered by it, so I think it should be fine.
Well, and
Oh,
then
do we
just
just look in here?
search, just to see that the correct records for that last one we created are there.
Yeah, unless you want to go by timestamp. I can't really tell.
I wouldn't go by the timestamp, just based on what Jeroen reported a few weeks back with the date created.
Oh, there's something going on.
So like that ID?
Yeah, I just don't know how this is sorted. So I don't know what the last one is.
It looks like that's probably the last one. Based on date created.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, grab
Hard
that
to
one.
tell. But
Grab that
I'll-
ID
I'll say
and-
try it. We'll see. If it
And
looks
then let's go back to, yeah. And just throw that into the search. So yeah, I did create it, and that's in the incident. And then
It doesn't have a driver. Is it supposed to have a driver?
just
Well,
the vehicle ID. I
that's
think.
kind of what I want to set after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
not
would
a-
just have the vehicle ID. So it did create it. Okay, can you take me back to that grid, and I want to look at the data on it again. It's now that I know how it works. Okay, so we have the right collection. The filter, expand that so it's against the incident ID, where the current ID is the ID. And that's all correct. Do this, go back to the incident report and vehicles, and then copy the filter set ID at the bottom. And then let's go back to the preview. And then go to the network on that. And then in the filter, paste that in. And click on that first one. So that was the save. And go to the preview on that. You see to the left where it says response, click on preview. And then open the object I just want to confirm that that was the entity that we were looking at, and then open that 0. Okay, so it did save.
That is a different ID though. Look,
It's AX.
there's another field with that 90. Oh, this is the incident report. This is the relational table.
Yeah,
My
no,
bad.
this is good.
Yeah.
And then okay, so it did save, and then click on the second request there. This is where it's doing the
Sorry,
get.
this guy here.
Yeah, that one there, and then expand that object.
It's got the driver ID. I see it right there. That 2D
ID matches.
So it's getting it.
So it is finding it.
That's not like set the display none or anything, is it? That grid? Something crazy. Something like simple we might miss.
I hope not.
It can't be. We wouldn't see it in the studio if it was.
Do this. Go back to the preview, and then I want to inspect that, and then like right click on that and just do inspect. It's empty. So nothing got set.
Is the page
Is
definitely?
the page
Oh yeah,
binding?
the page
Is there a page binding on that?
Sorry,
Like-
on the page.
Because nothing got set into the grid. The data was requested, but nothing got set into the element. And none of these are overriding it. What's this? This is it.
This is overriding it with blank.
This is clearing it. You just need to remove that.
Can y'all explain what's happening? What happened?
There was just an extra action that ran after the data binding. So after he set the correct data in, there was an extra action in there that essentially said, set value of that grid list to blank. So it cleared it out after it was probably setting correctly, and then it just gets cleared out.
What a
This is
bummer.
why I don't ever want y'all to feel discouraged as you're building without reaching out, because sometimes it takes 3 sets of eyes to catch something, and it can be so innocuous.
There it is.
There it is.
Amazing.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
So real quick, how can I, so if I hit continue, I would set that, and then how would I, what am I trying to do? Oh, no, sorry. So I'll
They're
click
gonna
that,
click on it, right?
and then I want to be able to set that, those, whatever, staff into the vehicle. So would I, let me think this through. I'd click that and then filter or pass that current record to the next page.
Yeah, you essentially just need to pass the current ID is all you need. Because over there, wherever you have that form with the fields, on
Yep.
save, you're just gonna tie it to that relational data collection.
Yep.
And then map the ID to the current ID, and then map all the fields or all the data collection columns to all the fields on your form. And then that's it, because that's just going to update the record that already exists. Because at that point, you're not creating it. That already happened. It's just an update. So all you need is the ID.
Amazing.
Woo, Alex, all right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let me see. Let me pull up my notes again. All right, so Alex, good. Bexley, I just want to check in. I still see you on the call. You doing okay? Let me know in the chat if we need to revisit anything as you're in there. Okay. Jan, you're having an issue, so let's go to you, and then we have some questions. I know zspaceman has a question about search, but let's troubleshoot first, whatever you're having. Are you ready to share your screen?
Okay, yes, I can share my
Yes.
screen.
Did you get a haircut?
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
Oh, thank you very much. So, yeah, for right now, I'm working on the navigation for my single page application. I would like to, what I built is, I can show here that if I navigate with my navigation, I changed the URL with a name for the page. But what's not working right now is if I refresh a page, I got always back to my home page. And yeah, I built it like the tutorial with George, but yeah, I have no idea. And what should I do so that I stay on the page and yeah, only load the content from the page.
If you, I'm just curious before we get too far in, if you actually have that slash any of the pages and you press enter instead of pressing reload, I'd be curious to see if that works. Like maybe the reload is reloading.
So on this page? Enter.
Yeah, like so go to the URL bar and just press enter.
Yeah, okay, enter. And then I come.
Okay.
Also
Yeah, it looks
to
like
the-
something's overriding it and switching it back. It's like it's happening specifically. Like you must have something in there somewhere that's
Okay,
taking that
where do I
URL
have to
off.
look?
Maybe checking like a page load or a page binding first, and
On my app page or?
yeah, whatever that URL route goes to, which I think is your app page, like the main one.
Okay, yeah. My page app is the app. I have the condition switch actually, where I want to look the browser URL segment 0. And yeah, that's my homepage dashboard. And actually, if I put something in behind, it should run to open the page.
So it's
So
always
actually-
opening dashboards. That's what's happening. It's probably not finding
Isn't
any
the
value.
segment one
Okay, yeah.
or it
Yeah, when
is-
you do browser URL segment, it's slightly different than server. So I didn't see that. I don't remember the URL. But maybe it is segment one.
maybe not. I don't know.
I think you
But
said you tried that, right?
noticed- I noticed this condition switch in here needs that fix. Because you notice, I think maybe that's why it's not working. If you notice there's a value, then there's a flow to run, and then there's a third one for action.
Mm.
Which was an old bug, but older projects that have those need the fix manually done.
Oh, from the SaaS Starter?
Yeah, I can fix that really quick for you, Jan. I have
Okay.
access. This is the podcaster one, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, one second. Let me fix that first, because maybe that's why. Because it's just
Okay.
not firing the right flow.
So while Dorian fixes that, does anyone have any like general easy questions we could maybe knock off? Feel free to ask them. What do I have? Let me see.
I feel like we should come up with something for that mobile menu swapping on the SaaS Starter, because a bunch of people have been trying to tackle that.
Yeah, I wonder what the issue is because I was thinking like it's a template, so it should just work. But it seems like everyone needs to change it, so maybe we could just make that change in the template itself. You know?
Sorry,
I
what's the
don't
actual
think
issue?
there's so on the SaaS Starter, you
Mhm.
know, like what we we're helping Bexley with, that
Mhm.
responsive mobile hamburger menu and that. I don't think it's on the template.
Mm.
Like it's not part of the pattern. So if we could
It
put
is,
on-
it just, the way it works on the template is it keeps like it shrinks down so that the company, like that grid list stays there. Yeah, where I think what I've seen a few of us and what I'm trying to do is to hide that nav bar completely and just have the burger menu.
Oh, okay. So that would be like a fundamental, like a design change overall on the SaaS Starter.
Well, like I have seen
Yeah.
a lot of people do it, so I think it's probably what people expect.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me make a
So-
note. Sorry,
I know.
what?
So I was able to do a pull out from the left. I'm John Roseni. I was able to do a pull out from the left using one of the tutorials, and that seemed to fix it.
Nice.
If you guys want to poke around what I got in the project, feel free to do so. It just works really nicely now.
Okay,
sweet.
awesome. Thank you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that in as like a request.
Yeah,
Since
so
few people have been chatting about it.
so I've noticed that there's actually the when I put that custom breakpoint in, it cleared out the tablet MIDI query in all styles. So which for what I'm doing, I don't actually mind because I think it was a bit janky what was going on with some of it. But yeah, that's probably a bug that needs to look into.
Are you, and sorry, were you able to just repeat it? Like anytime you put in a custom breakpoint, it removes the tablet, or?
Well, I can't get it back now. So yeah, it's just the tablet one that disappeared. So all the other breakpoints are there, but it cleared it out throughout the whole project.
I
So
think that's
any-
actually logical. It seems like it would be a bug, but it's like when it cleared it out, that's like the parent, like all the other styles are actually like under that breakpoint. And when you clear out the breakpoint, it's like removed from everything. So it actually
So
makes sense.
how about a warning message, maybe like, hey, deleting this breakpoint will remove it from all.
It's actually a
that's the
really
thing,
good call.
I
Yeah.
didn't- yeah, I really don't think I deleted. I mean, I could load a SaaS Starter again and try again, like in a new project, and see if
You
I
don't
could
have to do
repeat it.
that. I'll try and test it unless you have like specific steps that you think you might have taken, like a combination of something
Yeah.
that caused that to get
Oh.
cleared out. But if it's just a matter of do the SaaS Starter, go create a custom breakpoint and see if it deletes the tablet, I can do that. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, okay.
trying to
The breakpoint I added was like 1280 pixels, so it wasn't anything near the tablet one.
Okay.
And I can restore that one for you because it'll actually bring everything back.
Oh, okay.
So we can definitely go that route too. That way you don't have to go through all the styles and try to figure out what you need to put back in.
Yeah.
To
Do you
do
want us to
that,
do that?
we can definitely do that. You'll just need to add me as to that project that I have access to it because I'll need to go get the IDs and see.
Okay. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we can do that after this, no worries.
And then my email is just dorian@builder.com.
Real original, Dorian. All right. So let me write up a few things.
Okay, it's almost done here. And I'll need to delete that old condition switch, Jan. And I'll put the correct one in there.
Okay.
And then I'll let you go in and fill it out.
Bexley, did you add that custom breakpoint to a default style that was in the SaaS Starter, or was this a unique style you created?
It was a default. Well, yeah, it was one of the styles that came with the SaaS Starter. Yeah. It's just
It's
on
ready.
the note. On the note.
You- Sorry. But it's ready for you, Jan. You'll need to refresh this studio. Now you make sure you get the update, but when you go back into the app page and the page load, you'll see, yeah. And then
page load.
yeah. And I just threw, that's the new one, the correct one. I didn't fill in any of the settings at the bottom, so you'll need to fill those in again.
Okay, so dashboard and just okay, just for testing.
Yeah, let's see it.
Refresh the page. I go here and refresh. Yes.
That was
Yeah.
it.
That's what it was the action.
Okay.
Classic builder bug.
Okay, so if anyone is using the SaaS Starter, use that. I think it was a short period of time where the condition switch action is not, it's it's a bum action. Let us know and we can go in and fix it in your project. Jan,
Okay.
can we tell when he created this? I can't, I'd have to go look. I just
I
want to,
think
I
it was
want
a
to,
while ago, right? Like if you create a new one, it doesn't happen. Is that
No.
it might, yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Anything else, Jan?
Yes, one little question. I have here a drop down, and when I click this drop down, I have a grid search grid value, and I have the search key. It's a one field in my collection here. Is it possible to not only have one field? I would like to have more fields because I have the category one here and more category with the value inside.
Yeah, you can do it. You just have to go get all the IDs of the fields, and you'll need to change that type from a field to just text. And you'll just enter the field IDs, comma separated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and you can get the IDs from the data collection, clicking the three dots, and you'll see the ID of the column.
Oh yeah, okay. Cool.
And I would also add, that makes sense to you, right? Or like, are you still going? Because there's an alternative way to do it that's like a little bit more hackish.
Oh,
that
like a
I could mention
concatenate?
when we're done with this.
You're thinking using a concatenate, Drew? Or
Yeah, just put
yeah,
it
you
in
could do
there.
it that way too.
This method's better. I mean, I feel like this is like more.
Actually, no, that wouldn't work, would it? Or does it just store the field ID when you do fields? No, I guess it does. So that would work.
Okay. So
You mean for what I was saying, or
try-
for what we're
Mhm.
doing here?
Yeah,
I was saying get the values. Like you just concatenate the values together with spaces, basically. Like I would use not even concatenate necessarily. I would
search
like,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that could work too.
I don't know. I think this method's actually much cleaner. I shouldn't even say that method because it's kind of like a
And then remove the
Try.
space.
I try with the both.
Yeah, and
You
I
have
think
to
you
remove
want
that
to remove that space after the comma.
Oh, the space.
Yeah.
Okay. This one.
Yeah.
Much. Okay. Yeah, I have to think. I have to look at here. And this one in coaching and business. Yeah, coaching and business. Should this person here. So if I search for coaching, this here, and for business, yeah, here's in both. Okay, that's fine. So I can add the other IDs as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. Drew, I see you are already kind of answering John's question. Is there a way to load an image into an image container and keep it from stretching? Did you want to expand on your answer a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, if it's what I think it is, if I understand it correctly, it's a style thing. So it's CSS, and it's by default the builder has a class called builder image has a class called image on it, and that class has a style with 100%. So normally that's like kind of handy for like responsive design, other things, but in certain cases, especially if you explicitly set a height or do anything else explicitly, that width 100% is going to stretch the image and kind of mess it up. So there's like a ton of ways you might handle it depending on your preference and your project, but more or less, if you just remove that width 100% style, it's probably going to fix it for you.
Okay, cool.
But one thing to note, if you remove it from the image class, it's going to remove from all the images in your whole project. So you may or may not want to do that. If they're all stretching, you want to do that. If just one is stretching, then maybe you just override it with an inline style of width inherit or width auto would probably work.
Yeah, I got just one page where images are being stretched. I've set as height. And I have a fixed vector width on the div and the image resides within the div with another div sitting below it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Makes sense.
Yeah, if it's happening multiple, I would say just try removing that style from the class.
Got it. Will do.
All right. Okay, so let me see here. Spaceman has a question. How would I go about setting up a search so every word is a tag? I'm trying to let users search multiple words within a search. Do you have anything started that you could show us where we could kind of point you in the next directions? Or are you just thinking like, what's the general instruction?
I have it pulled up right now.
Well, perfect.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So same project I've been working on. So basically they want to be able to go in here and just say Camry, car, and then that is just a tag. And then they can go in and just say, maybe XSE in that sense, because there's a Camry, there's an XSE. So they want to be able to search tags basically.
So not create the tags, right? This is basically, it's already in the database with those values and you're searching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's actually, can you show where you're doing this? Oh, you don't have the search set up at all, you mean?
Well, I have the search set up, but it's searching like Camry right now, but it's not, I can't like press enter and then go to another word.
Oh, I see. That's a little different than I was thinking. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head if Dorian, maybe you have an easy way to do that, but I feel like we could get that done, but it's probably like a couple step process where we kind of have to get creative and just figure out how to do it.
Yeah, not an easy way, because essentially we need to convert that surge to look like a surge, but it's actually a grid. And when you're hitting enter, you're adding an
Adding to
item,
the grid.
that grid item, and then using the grid
Oh,
value as the
That's
search.
interesting.
Actually you have to do the filter. But like an easier method would be, because right now that's a grid and there's a row, right?
Yep.
What you can do is when that row on page loaded loads, create a variable called like search data. And in there, just concatenate all the values that you're wanting to search, because then that now becomes a variable that's searchable. Like it wouldn't work as a tag, but if they type Camry space XSE, it would still find it.
Show up correctly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like you'll probably need to build that where you put it in both orders in case they do XSE then Camry. But it's just one variable that has all the values of the fields thrown in there and all the different orders that you think they can search it in. And it would work, it's fast. And you wouldn't have to build like a whole grid thing where you're creating tags and then taking the value from the grid and splitting that and filtering. But either way will work. I don't know which method you would want to try.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's a fairly decent sized process.
Both of them are, they'll take a little bit to do, but they're definitely doable.
Okay. Well, just as long as I know I can do it, I can always reach out on Discord and try to, pick your guys' brains as far as which way I should go that way. So, because I've got a few different projects that the search is going to do something very similar to this. So, if I know how to do it once, I can always copy it from there on. So maybe I'll just start a new project and, try to start it with that idea in mind.
Yeah. Just reach out and then, we'll be happy to help you. But yeah, that one definitely involves a little bit more build out to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all doable.
So I would start with what, 2 grids then, I guess?
Just one.
One.
Well, you'd have the grid already below, and then instead of the search bar, you'd have one grid.
Like the search essentially behind the scenes is another grid. It's just going to appear like a search.
Gotcha.
And what's happening is as they're typing, which that'll and they hit enter, you're essentially just adding an item to the grid, which is what would be represented as the tag, the first tag.
And then when you delete, like say a tag from that,
Yeah, like because
are
it's
you
a
deleting that from the whole database itself then?
no, because you're not deleting or adding anything. It's
Yeah,
just
what you're not actually going through the database. That's what I was gonna add to this. It's basically what you're gonna do is manually set the value into a grid, which people aren't really used to, but you can set any array into a grid. It doesn't have to come from a database. So as they're typing the tags, you're just manually setting them into that grid. And at any time you can get that grid value as like the search, to filter the other thing on.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Yes.
like page binding, basically.
No, you actually
No?
wouldn't do it. No, because all this will be manually set. So it's all using the element set value actions. But yeah.
Whew, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Once
like a
once you
project.
get that project created, chat me and then
I will.
I can help you set it up. It's a hard one to kind of see and explain.
Yeah.
But like once we put it together, it'll make sense and then be like, oh, okay, I didn't know we could do all that.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so I guess we are at time. Let me see, did anyone have anything that they're struggling with that we can recap? I know, Drew, you actually have to leave right now, right? But Dee,
Yeah.
can you hang around for a few minutes? Does anyone have
Yeah,
anything?
for sure.
No? Okay, then. I think we did have, let me just check something real quick. Oh, where are my notes? Bexley, I hope you don't really think my name is Mark. I forgot to update it. But it's not Mark. Okay. I guess that's it. I think we covered everything. Biggie B did have a question about wanting to learn how to upload a document file from Builder to Xano. So if anyone has done that before and could share some info with them, that would be awesome. If not, I'll keep it on our list for next office hours. So we'll go ahead and wrap today. Thanks everyone for making it a great session. We do it every week, so we'll see you next Thursday.
See you guys.
Bye.